Ladies and gentlemen, before we begin the next part of our ceremony, I just want to re-announce that we're about to, when we do begin again, we will again be live streaming part 2 on YouTube. And the live stream will be at Luke Air Force Base -56 Flight Point.
Why are you bothering?
At this time, it is appropriate to begin the official part of the ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, the Chief's Mess is now in session. It is with great pleasure that I introduce our guest speaker for this evening. Chief Master Sergeant Juliet Gudgel is the Command Chief for the Air Education and Training Command. Chief Gudgel is responsible for advising the AETC commanders, directors, and staff on current and future training and educational methods used by more than 600,000 total force airmen. Her previous Chief Master Sergeant assignments include Command Chief of Air University, Command Chief of the 59th Medical Wing, and the Command Chief of the Area NCO Academy, Tyndall Air Force Base, Florida. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Chief Master Sergeant Juliet Gudgel.
So look around your tables. There's a leader sitting there right next to you. And maybe they don't have the rank on their shoulders, but they're taking the initiative to lead and move things forward for our Air Force. The other people I want you to look around at your tables at not the new chiefs, but the family members and the friends who came here tonight. Because we all know we are not here without them. So I ask for all our family members to please stand and be recognized. Because that's where leadership truly comes from. It comes from the heart. It comes from your family. It helps guide you along. So if leadership starts in the back of the room, the side of the room, the middle of the room, this side of the room, then why is the head table always in the front of the room? Well, I got news for you. It's no secret. We're a little bit slower, so we got to be a little bit closer to the stage, right? We don't move as fast. We don't hear as well. And if it's right there in the middle, they can point to it, we can find it. And then if it's time for us to come forward and we miss our cue, it doesn't take us as long to get to the front. So as leaders, all of you are leaders. And so tonight I want to focus on a few things. But first of all, I want to thank the leadership here at Luke for allowing me to come in and say some words and spend some time with you. Because this is one of the most important nights of your career. So if you look around this room tonight with the family members, we have active duty, we have guard, we have reserve, we have retired, and we have civilian airmen joining us. Through all these generations of Americans, there's one common denominator, and that is the powerful airmen sitting at each of our tables. You know, the United States Air Force has always depended upon individuals who were cut above maturity, technical prowess, clear thinking. And tonight, we welcome the new chiefs, the 1% to lead and be led by these airmen. I think, you know, as an airman, there are certain characteristics that we'll look at, and they're very different no matter where you're at in your Air Force journey. But some characteristics, you know, vary. You know, we have those people out there that think you have to know everything to be an effective leader. But I think not. I think you have to be authentic. You have to be humble. You have to be courageous, and you have to be compassionate to be a leader. And that's not just being a Chief Master Sergeant. That's being an airman in our United States Air Force. Well, I'd like to focus in on those great attributes and paint this beautiful picture of what leaders look like. It's not worth anything if you can't listen and you cannot, and I'm going to drop the F-bomb here, accept failure. So we're going to talk about those things tonight. And again, this is for our chiefs. This is for everybody in the room. Because listening, you can't move to the front of this room unless you master that. Because it's not about you anymore. We keep telling you that over and over again. It's about your teams. The teams that you're going to propel forward. They're going to get you didn't get here by yourself, right? So they're going to help us move this Air Force forward together as a team. So most of you are thinking, well, I'm a great listener, and I don't really need any of this tonight, so I want to know what she's going to tell me. So stop trying to anticipate what I'm going to say and actually listen. So leadership is about communication, and a huge part of that is listening. So don't be fooled, chiefs, that being heard is the most important thing. Listening is. You can't fully understand the gravity of a situation unless you seek to understand the message. And the message can be coming from your youngest airmen, your civilian airmen, or your peers. So when I became a senior NCO, I thought I pretty much nailed the listening thing. I was like, I'm all about it. And so every time the boss gave me another task, I was ready. I was going to anticipate what he or she was going to say. And sometimes, though, I was anticipating so much that I wasn't listening. That maybe I was being disruptive. Maybe I was interrupting, trying to anticipate so I could hurry up and get out the door and make it happen. And one of my mentors finally stopped me and said, Julie, please shut up for a moment and actually listen to what I'm saying. And that was my wake-up call. And that mentor taught me so much about what I didn't know about myself. I wasn't an active listener. I was someone who was just trying to get things done. So instead of allowing the message to flow and process fully actually what was being conveyed, we can get it wrong. You know, this red carpet here reminds me of where we got it wrong once. We all know that when an air show rolls in, there's usually a storm, except for here at Luke, because I'm sure it'll be a dry spell. But it rains. It always rains at an air show. And everyone had a lot of questions on why the Med Group had a large red plush carpet out in front of their tent. It rained and it soaked it up like a sponge. It was nasty. We spent a lot of money on this red carpet too. And so in the hot wash, the question was, why did we spend all this money on a red carpet? And they're like, well, the general wanted a red carpet. And so going back and asking those questions again, they were anticipating. What the general said was, it'd be nice to have something for people to wipe their feet on, like those red rugs we had out in front of the building. But instead, they got a plush red carpet. So again, always listen to the full story and don't be afraid to ask. My dad would say, it's impossible to stick your foot in your mouth if it's closed. So listen with squinted ears and just be part of that process. The other thing is the body language. And you all know this very well. When we have those flight line operations, you got the pro super out there talking with your airmen, our great maintainers out there, and the body language tells us something that we should be worried about. Again, it's all the communication skills. Is this aircraft ready to go? Yeah, it sure is. You know, I mean, come on, we want to make sure that we are getting the entire message, and most of it we can see is through the body language. I have a 15-year-old. And believe me, there's a lot of body language when he's telling me what I want to hear. The other thing about listening is you have to be someone who can practice humility in this. So we would love for our ideas to be the most powerful, the best ideas that are coming out. But guess what? They aren't. Our airmen are the most innovative, brilliant airmen out there. And they have the best ideas. So when chiefs, when it's not your idea, don't slow it down. If you master the whole listening process and you're cognizant of the entire message, you can help move these ideas along so much faster. So the whole listening thing plays into everything we do as an Air Force. And here's that F word again, failure. She came to the chief recognition ceremony and she's talking about failing. Can anyone tell me what the last line of our airman creed is? I will not fail. But guess what? Sometimes we have to fail to get things right. Now when I say failure, I'm not talking life or safety failure, but we have to be able to fail forward. And maybe that's not a comfortable term for a lot of people, but maybe intelligent risk-taking that leads us to sustained innovation. You can sit back as leaders and you can say, we've always done it this way. I don't want to mess up the status quo. Or you can take a chance and you can try something new. If it works, great. If it doesn't, well, try it again. Adjust fire and let's go one more time. You have such a great opportunity as leaders to move forward and turn these failures into attempts to launch again. Failure is that stepping stone to success. Does anyone know how many seconds the Wright brothers flew in their first flight? 20 seconds. That was close. 20 seconds. They flew 120 feet. Can you imagine if they would have pulled up chalks that day and said, we're done? Our Air Force would not be what it is today. But they accepted failure. They accepted that risk and they kept going. Chiefs, we need you to have that tenacious appetite as well. We need you to keep going and accepting that kind of risk. But it also speaks to you as a leader. Are you risk averse enough allowing your team to fail and to learn from those failures? Again, I have a 15-year-old. The hardest part is to watch him fail and learn again. The airmen that I work with, the hardest part for us is to step back and watch failure and then watch them work through the process. We cannot be helicopter parents, nor can we be helicopter chiefs or supervisors. You know, there's going to be a lot of change. And once there's a failure on your team, how do you discuss it openly? Once you figure out what went wrong, what do you need to do to ensure it moves forward? It's really a great incentive to share. The greatest part about failure is listening to what went wrong. Again, that whole communication piece. Why did we fail? So if you share more, these ideas are going to flow. And the greatest part about it is other team members are going to jump on in and help you move it forward. You know, a confident leader will take ownership of that failure and move forward, communicating your failure so it maximizes the learning potential. We're going to avoid blame, and we can analyze and learn from it. You know, out in the industry, you know, in the days, early Apple days, I heard that if you came up with a great innovative idea and it didn't pan out, you were looking for another job. Well, lucky for you, you work in the best darn Air Force in the world, and our leadership has learned to publicly support failure. It's better to create this environment where initiative is rewarded and mistakes are viewed as opportunities to learn. You know, our heritage as airmen teaches us to be resilient and triumph when we're challenged. There is no situation where we can't draw upon our training, our core values, and draw upon the inspiration and courage to meet those challenges head on. As I look around this room is covered with leaders. And we are all ready to face those challenges. Chiefs, our newest chiefs coming into this 1%, are you ready to face those challenges? I can't hear you. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, to those family members and those airmen who came to support us tonight, are you ready to take on that challenge too? All right, I want you to listen with squinted ears. I want you to be able to accept that failure and learn from it. And to all the airmen who are joining us tonight, our chiefs, our commanders, our head civilians, they didn't start out in the front of the room. They grew as leaders, and they can function from the back of the room, the left of the room, to the right of the room, and now to the front of the room. They can lead, and they can be led by you. I really appreciate you having me here tonight, and I can't wait to see you up here on the stage again, being honored, the candle lighting, and let's just get on with this. Thank you.
Chief Gudgel, thanks for those inspiring words. There will now be a presentation from Chief Hood as a token of our appreciation for the new trooper.
Thank you, ma'am. I really do appreciate you taking the time to give us those good words about listening, having some humility, and learning from your failures. Those are the notes that I took when I was listening to your speech. Really do appreciate you talking to our new chiefs. And on behalf of the Luke Chief Group, we have you a plaque here, state of Arizona. Say it back.
Ladies and gentlemen, one of the oldest military guests for this very special ceremony. A ceremony not only recognizing promotion, but also to formally welcome those selected for the highest enlisted grade into the elite group we know as the Chiefs.
Our newest Chief Master Sergeants advanced through their careers. Each promotion represented significant opportunities for personal and professional development. Each chief stepped forward with more difficult situations from one to the last and created more challenges. Each shouldered the increasing responsibilities as their careers progressed, enriched by personal satisfaction, dedication, and a vision of the future shared by many of us.
Their achievements were not lone efforts, of course, and we would be remiss if we did not acknowledge the part of their spouse, family members, and friends had in their careers. For most, if not all of their journey, they have been at your sides during the good times and the bad. Let's now take a moment to recognize their significant contributions as well. At this time, would all family members please stand and be recognized?
Only 1% of the Air Force's total enlisted force can hold the top enlisted grade of the Chief Master Sergeant. Tonight, we invite you to recognize and welcome our comrades into this select group of military professionals. The following is a look at what it means to be an enlisted chief.
When I was working with this organization, and he had reached out to me and kind of took me up under his wing. He showed me the ropes of how to get to where I am now to be a good staff sergeant.
But don't act like you're untouchable, if you will. So the best chiefs I've had were like that, and you knew that they had your back, and they weren't just saying giving you the Air Force answers and telling you what you wanted to hear.
One of the most personable people you'll ever meet, a great Cajun guy from New Orleans, and he always made sure that no matter where he was, no matter what senior company he was in, that he was always going to look out for the junior airman or the junior Marine or the junior soldier, and make sure that they had a chance to speak with him, that they had his ear. I remember talking to him, and he kind of opened up to me about being deployed in 2005, I believe it was, to Iraq, and having some serious trauma, and he actually was diagnosed with PTSD. And this was around the time that there was just a huge stigma with people coming forward saying that they had PTSD because of potential repercussions. And it really meant a lot for me to see him as a senior leader in his position to come forward and say, hey, look, you know, I have PTSD. This is something that affects me. It's something I struggle with, and this is something that I appreciate my wife pointing out to me.
I have to think about the first month that I was here at Luke. Here I am, a bright and shining second lieutenant in the Air Force, and a chief asked me to conduct his final re-enlistment. So being a part of a squadron of over 200 members and having the opportunity to, conduct that final oath of enlistment for him, his last, my first, was really meaningful to me.
There was a command chief from AMC, Air Mobility Command out of Scott Air Force Base at the time. And this guy was phenomenal. And he kind of really indicated to me what I thought was absolutely essential for chiefs. And it was 10 two-letter words. If it is to be, it is up to me. And I think that was a moment as he relayed that to the chiefs on the importance of their job. And really that they are the wonderful cornerstone of our organization that is able to get things done across many lanes. And I'll tell you, that guy went back to be an LRS chief back in his primary career field because he loved airmen so much. And I think that's the key for a chief is if it is to be, it is up to me, and that they have to love their airmen.
The 63rd is just a new stood-up unit, and our chief personally took his time out of his day to meet each individual new airman and get to know us. He was taking notes of first names, things we're into, and I thought it was really cool because he's busy all the time, and he took a minute out of his day for 200 new airmen, and then plus NCOs, and then even senior NCOs as well. So I thought that was really cool.
So when I was a young enlisted airman, I had a chief come to me, and when I would say, thinking about
either staying in the Air Force, getting out, and all my options, the chief said to me, "Are you committed?" And that took me aback for a moment, and it hit really hard, and it made me self-reflect and decide, like, was I committed to this Air Force, or was it something else? And what his point was what he was trying to make me understand is, you're either committed to the Air Force or you're not.
One of the most important things to remember about chiefs is their experience level, right? Most of these, gentlemen and ladies have been in for more than 2 decades, and that's something you can't really replace. So it's awesome that they come from a position of senior leadership, and they really can mentor up and down. I have to say, chiefs are imperative in the grooming and the mentorship of young officers like myself, and obviously building their replacements. Right? They see the future of the Air Force in the junior enlisted ranks, and they have to groom and mentor young people to replace them.
I love when new chiefs come out and are getting their feet wet in an organization. There's no better time. I love all our chiefs and how they interact at higher headquarters and command chiefs and all that kind of stuff. But there's something very special about being a new chief and being at the squadron unit level, to where you're really going to make a great difference in the lives of our airmen. And to me, that is a time that's not about looking to the next level. That's about time to live in the moment. This is a great time for our new chiefs to live in the moment, and not even bother looking forward. Is just to go ahead and just jump in and put a big hug around those airmen and get the mission done with them. And I'm really excited for them.
The 9 candles at the front of the Chief's Mess represent the 9 enlisted grades of the United States Air Force. As we light each candle, let us remember the experiences, friendships, and memories that accompany each of the stages of our lives.
Chiefs, the words you're about to hear are special to Chief Master Sergeants. They guide us, they inspire us, and keep us focused. As we read these words and light these candles, so will you, light the hearts and the minds to inspire those under your supervision. The light from these candles is symbolic of the light you must show when darkness and doubt troubles you. As these candles light the way, so must you. Light the way for others to follow. This is why we honor you tonight and accept you as senior leaders among the enlisted force.
Chief Master Sergeants are individually to be regarded as people who cannot be bought, whose word is their bond.
Chiefs put character above wealth. They possess opinions and a will.
Chiefs are larger than their vocations. They will not lose their individuality in a crowd.
Chiefs do not hesitate to take chances and will be as honest in small things as in great ones.
Chiefs make no compromise with wrong. Their ambitions are not confined to their own selfish desires and interests.
Chiefs are true to their friends through good report and bad report, in adversity as well as prosperity.
Chiefs do not believe that shrewdness, cunning, and hard-headedness are the best qualities for winning success.
Chiefs are not ashamed or afraid to stand for the truth when it is unpopular, and can say no with emphasis, although all the world is saying yes. To our newest chiefs, we stand by these words, as should you. Your dedication and loyalty to the ideals and the traditions of the United States Air Force have guided you throughout your career. Your progress through the enlisted grades have embraced the essence of your potential. You join an elite group that carries with it greater responsibility.
Although you have already proven you are capable of handling responsibility and carrying out your duties professionally, more importantly, your promotion to Chief Master Sergeant carries with it an obligation of the highest importance. It encompasses honor, integrity, dedication, and trust.
The lighting of the 9th candle is symbolic to the Chief's Mess, which officially recognizes selection for promotion to Chief Master Sergeant. The Chief's Mess is proud to acknowledge your selection and welcomes you.
I would now like to invite Chief Master Sergeant Donnie Bolton from the 56th Security Forces Squadron and Airman Basic Vivier from the 607th Air Control Squadron to light the 9th candle. Chief Bolton is the active duty chief with the most time in service here this evening, and Airman Basic Vivier is our most junior airman. This is symbolic of the fact that all chiefs start their journey as airmen, and it is for the airmen that we continue to serve. Together, from our most junior airman to our most senior chief, the Enlisted Corps serves as the backbone of our force.
Thank you, Chief Bolton. and Airman Basic Vivier.
Colonel Richardson, Chief Gudgel, and Chief Kershaw, would you please come to the stage to present mementos to each of our newest chiefs? Thank you, Chief Kershaw. It was dark, I couldn't find the switch.
Our first chief is Chief Master Sergeant Select Gabriel Flagg.
Chief Master Sergeant Daniel Gregory.
Chief Master Sergeant Select Marty Marshall.
From the great city of Queens, New York, ladies and gentlemen, Chief Master Sergeant Select Carlos Buliones.
Chief Master Sergeant Select Terry Repping.
And our final chief joining us all the way from Kingsley Field, Oregon, certainly part of Team Thunderbolt, ladies and gentlemen, Chief Master Sergeant Adam Rising.
Thank you, Colonel Richardson, Chief Gudgel, and Chief Kershaw. Now, each of our newest chiefs has 56 seconds. 56! You'll take the time that you need to address the chief's mess to your family and friends.
Chief Flagg, please come up, the floor is yours.
Okay, can you hear me back there? We're good? I want to say a whole bunch of thanks tonight, but thank you everyone for attending. This is awesome. I don't know if you saw it, but there was a whole line of chiefs up here and they had swords. Right? I don't know if it gets any better than that, right? I did bring a fire dancer in from Hawaii. Sergeant Kate, you out there? Just in case you guys want to turn it up a little bit. So, absolutely awesome. I have to say I'm a little bit disappointed in, just because I've kind of waited my whole life for my 15 minutes of fame, and then you come tell me that I have 56 seconds. So I sat at home today thinking about this moment, and I said, I wonder how long they let me babble before it turns into like a scene from the Bad News Bears, where the kids running around the Houston Astrodome and they're trying to get them off the field. We'll save you from that, hopefully. We're on live stream, so I think that buys me a little bit of time.
Just a little bit.
Scoot over here. I got to make sure I don't miss anybody. All right. Okay. First off, distinguished visitors, Chief Cudgel, thank you so much for the kind words and the inspiring words. Chief Brown, Colonel Richardson. Thank you so much for being here, taking the time out of your busy days. Group commanders, group chiefs, squadron commanders, squadron chiefs. Again, thank you so much. Thank you for giving us an environment, providing an environment that really facilitates innovation and fosters success. Luke Chiefs Group, I can't say enough. This event is awesome, and it's all the time and effort that you guys put into this. I talked to Chief Woods earlier in the week, and he said last year he was in Korea at the time, and it wasn't the greatest. It wasn't the greatest, and it got me thinking, for somebody to just have this last year and it wasn't that great, to turn around, he says, and that's why he wants to make this a success tonight and make it an awesome night. But that's to everybody that spent time and effort on this occasion. I appreciate it. I am absolutely honored and humbled to hold the title of chief with amazing men and women like you. Honestly, I can stand up here and do this all night, but real quick, Dad, Lynn, Mom, Howie, Paula, Ernie, thank you so much. Yeah, like I said, there's no way that I could get enough thanks out during this time and it's thanks that you deserve, so thank you. Friends, family, coworkers, it's your support that's gotten us to this point, gotten us to this milestone. I say us because it's really myself and Karen. 7 years ago, she decided to sacrifice a very successful career and stay at home with the boys and take care of me and them for all the times that she's holding the fort down when I'm running around the world doing something. I honestly think, both from top to bottom, inside and out, you're the most beautiful person I've ever met. So, and I think all this thanks, there's a whole lot of thanks. I think it's very clear that this is a team sport. Right? There's no doubt about it. So I want to give one last big thanks to all of you that came out today, all of you that were part of the team that got us here. Please enjoy the rest of your evening, and thanks for making this a memorable night. Thank you very much.
Chief Gregory, the floor is yours.
Thank you guys all for being here. So what Sioux say in true Dane Gregory fashion, I'm straight winging this. So I didn't write anything. I'm not as eloquent as Gabe or Rich, so I'm just winging this. First and foremost, I have to thank my mom and dad, because without them, I wouldn't be here today. As I said in my promotion ceremony earlier this week, they were the first one to teach me core values of integrity first, service for self, and excellence in all I do. Their version of it was a little bit different. Stop lying, pull your head out your ass, and get it together. I have to really thank my mom, because there's been a lot of times that she has prayed for me. She's a very religious woman, as is my dad.
and she's been on bended knee several times. Sometimes it was praying that just the Lord protect drunks, because she has made that prayer at least once or twice. So, and I thank her for that prayer. But my mom and dad, I really do appreciate it. Second, I have to apologize to my kids. Christopher and Brendan, Elise, Alexis, there's been times I had to miss stuff, and I do apologize for that, but I appreciate you guys for being so supportive, understanding what I had to do, and me being as proud of you as you are of me, and it means a lot to me. So thank you very much. To my poor suffering wife, Catherine. I'm sorry, but you married into weapons. I don't know how I got so lucky to get such a beautiful wife as you, but I really do appreciate it. You've always been there for me, and I love you so much, and I'll know what I would do without you. Thank you for the awesome 18 years we have been together and taking this journey with me. I appreciate it. There's a gentleman in the back. He's kind of gray-haired, skinny. His name is Mike Sanger. I appreciate him and his wife for coming up here tonight to support me. He is retired, but a few years back, probably about 10 years ago, he was the first one to see my untapped potential. He took me under his wing, him and another chief who couldn't be with us tonight, and he really saw that what I could be, and he guided me on the right path. So Mike, thank you and Darcy so much for coming out tonight. It means a lot to Catherine and I. Rich, my brother, thank you so much. You have been the best friend I've had over this past year. You've been a great mentor, and I wouldn't be here without you. Thank you. The Havels, the Higueras, you guys have been like some true friends since we've been out here, and I appreciate your friendship. Catherine and I, both of you. To my guys at the back table, Connor, Josh, Levi, and I appreciate you guys. Did I forget somebody back there? Who did I forget? I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for being here. I would also like to thank all of the airmen that came and did the County Light ceremony. It meant a lot to me. To the chiefs that are taking me under their wing and being great mentors, I do appreciate it. To the commanders that thought I had potential to be a chief, I do appreciate it. And to all the friends, family, and everybody who's here tonight, thank you so much for being here tonight. We appreciate it. Chief Marshal, please come forward.
Okay, so I will not take as long as they did. I told y'all I had some visits, right? And y'all just kept going and going. So, for me, hey JC, my daughter is streaming live from Anchorage, Alaska right now, so she's watching. So I'm glad that she could be a part of this. But for me, I can't walk off this stage without thinking of a few people. Colonel Sylvester, Chief Kirsch, Major Pastrion, Todd Wirt, and one of my truest friends and biggest mentors, Mike Brown. Thank y'all. That's it.
Coriolis, the floor is yours.
This might be, I don't know if you guys know this guy, but this might take a while.
Yeah, I promise not to, though. So I'm going to do this a little backwards. So for those of you who don't know me, I tend to get emotional. So I'm going to save the best for last. So I want to start by thanking our great Air Force and all of our airmen. I didn't get up here alone. We did some amazing things together. Leaders, peers, and subordinates, I thank you. Friends that came from long distances to be here today, I'm truly humbled. I'm so excited that our Air Force saw fit that I could be a chief, and I look so forward to leading tomorrow's airmen. There are a few I want to recognize. Like I said, I'm going to save the best for last because I'm going to get emotional, right? So a lot of people traveled some distance to be here. To my friends and neighbors, it means a lot because you know we move so much, and every time we have to pick up and move our kids from one place to the next, it's you that keeps us human in this big machine that is defending America's freedom. So for my neighbors and friends here in attendance tonight, I thank you for making Luke Air Force Base not just another duty assignment, but also a home. To my buddy, Chief Resch. I met Chief Resch when I was Tech Sergeant. He was Master Sergeant Resch. he saw something in me and just kept pushing me and pushing me and pushing me. And like a true chief, he set the example. I was a tech sergeant, still didn't even have a CCF degree. By the time our tenure was over, I was already working on my master's degree, and I finally finished that a year ago. And to you, just constantly pushing and pushing and making me uncomfortable every moment, from no matter where we were, and we had the privilege to be stationed together twice. To my uncle and my godfather, Padrino, Chief Master Sergeant Garcia, my rock, my mentor from day one to the end, the conversations and the things you did to set me up for success, I'm eternally grateful. To my in-laws, Will and Grace, 10 duty stations, 3 short tours, my wife's 2 tours in Iraq. I don't know how many times I deployed, went TDY. You visited us every single duty station, whether it was overseas or stateside. You took care of our boys, and you truly made me feel like the son you never had. And you guys are my parents as well, and I love you for that. Thank you very much. To my mom and dad, Commander United States Navy, former airman as well. He was an airman in CE before he was a naval officer. And my beautiful Scottish mother over there who taught me how to be classy. So, Mom and Dad, I love you. You know, Queens, New York was a rough place. I was in a bad spot, and they turned it around, and they made this man a gentleman. To my beautiful wife, Monica, I don't even know what to say. You know, I love you. And I hope to see you up here on this stage one day. It's not all about me. We did this together. We proved that we can be mom and dad when the other one was away, and that you made me soft. the boys always say that it's so hard. But when mommy's away, learning to read stories and be really quiet and not jump off the handle. But when mommy's home, I get to be mean. But when she's away, I got really soft. And then last but not least, my boys, Ambrose and Antonio, I'm super proud of you. Like my parents, like my Uncle Robert, always setting that example for me. My biggest accomplishment is you, and everything I've done is to set the proper example for you 2 boys. You guys are airmen too. Dependents, airmen. Airmen is a big word. You guys travel. You've PCS 6 times, and we may be going somewhere again this summer. And I love you guys. Everything is all about you guys. I hope that I have not let you down. I hope that I've instilled those values in you as my parents have in me. And nothing would make me happier than to someday see you up here too. But I want you guys to have 4 stars. Or the title governor or United States president. So keep raising the bar. For everybody else, thank you so much for being here. I'm truly humbled and honored. Thank you very much.
I'm all about timeline adherence, so I'm going to try and keep it to 60.7 seconds. Thank you. First, Chiefs Group, thanks. This is awesome. Like everybody else, I'm just going to echo what everyone else said. This was an awesome event tonight, and I'm really happy that my friends and my dad could be here. Colonel Richardson and Chief Kirsch, thank you for stepping in and being the leaders here today for us. Colonel Wendell, you're awesome. Thank you for being such a great commander and such a great supporter of myself and the rest of the airmen. Colonel Campbell, I'm so happy that you came to be the DO and you were my boss for, at this point, 6 months. And I think we're really moving in the right direction with the squadron. Chief Wilson and Chief Woods, I'm super happy that you guys are my mentors and that you guys advocated for me throughout the time I've been here for just over a year, just over a year. My dad's awesome. I don't know if anyone knows, I was GCI controller before I put on senior, and my dad was actually a fire control officer for the Army during Vietnam. So like it's pretty similar, calling in airstrikes, but he was from a much more dangerous position than I was behind the wire. He was outside the wire, I've always been behind the wire. Shelly's my best friend from high school. She's 15. We met when we were 15. I think it's it's awesome that you came down here from Kalispell, Montana to be here with me. And Sasha and I were Airman Basics together. I'm not going to tell you what year that was, because I would give away our age. You don't want to do that. My mom couldn't make it tonight. She had a tennis tournament. But if you see a 60-year-old woman, yes, I'm serious, a tennis tournament in Scottsdale or Fountain Hills, somewhere like that. But if you see a somewhat crazy-looking 60-year-old lady in the back of the room in a tennis skirt, send her our way. We have some wine for her. Airman Swindles and Airman Basic Vivier, thank you so much for supporting this event for us. That was really great that you guys stepped up. For anyone that doesn't know, they're AFI Airmen. So they're pipeline students waiting for their training. Their class starts in May, and they stepped up to do this just because they love the Air Force and they love being airmen. So I think that's really awesome. Turbo, Mo, and Summer are my go-to master sergeants in the squadron, and they're here to support me as well, and I think that's great, not just to support me, to support the rest of the airmen as well. We love you! That's really all I have to say. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak today.
Chief Rising, the floor is yours.
Who's this guy, right? So, yeah, not from around here. So, for those that don't really know who I am, I'm formerly the Rogue Senior Master Sergeant from the Lost Colony in Klamath Falls, Oregon, Superintendent of the 550 Fire Squad is not there. But I do want to say, first and foremost, despite the fact that we're part of the GSU out there, the 56 Fighter Wing has done an enormous job taking care of us and our airmen. And I especially want to thank my partners in the 56 OG for helping us out and really doing what they're supposed to do and making sure that we've got what we need to be successful up there. So thank you, Chief Wilson. Thank you, Chief Woods for stepping in there as well. So I really appreciate the support we've gotten out there. So a little bit of kind of where I'm coming from, so you know who I am. But I had a lot of paper, ran out of paper, so I put it on my phone. So that we could, actually get through some of this. But I do have a few things to say. And of course, I'd like to thank everybody that showed up here. I'd also like to thank my opening acts. You guys were fantastic. I love each and every one of you. Just so you know, but seriously, I got to meet these folks out at the ATC orientation a few weeks ago, and just an amazing group of people that I get to share this experience with. Thank you so much for taking care of me up there as well, and just bringing me into the fold. You guys are amazing, and I'll probably be calling some of you shortly to do that Chief Mafia thing, right? We'll get that taken care of. So anyways, to get on this, again, thank you everyone for showing up for this. This is a really special event. But I would like to thank some folks around my table right now. So Sergeant Anger, Tech Sergeant Joe Ager, thank you very much for coming. He was a blast from the past, stationed with him back at Seymour Johnson. Met him here at the award ceremony again. Has had an amazing career, and I'm really proud of you as an NCO and as a man. I mean, you've grown to be an amazing person in life, and thank you very much for coming out and supporting me in this. Also, Senior Master Sergeant Select, that will never get old until you put it on, Mitchell. He's our first sergeant out there in Kingsley Field, doing a Herculean effort to take care of our folks. Thank you very much for coming out and suffering the 75-degree weather with me. It's been tough. I know we're looking forward to going back to the 30-degree snow and whatever else we're going to drive through to get home. But your friendship, candor, professionalism were all very valuable, and I appreciate you being a part of that. All right. To the countless supervisors, peers, airmen, and friends that were involved in shaping the airman that I am today, for better or worse, thank you for inspiring me to serve in a greater capacity than before. I'm both humbled and proud to serve each and every one of you. And now to my family. Dad, thank you, and thank you, Grandpa, for inspiring me to be part of this. Tradition of service. As many of us come from traditions of service, it means a lot. When our folks and the people before us have done some amazing things, and we want to be a part of that. It's a wonderful tradition. And thank you, Dad, for inspiring me to be an airman, even though you were a sailor, and to love my family and just take care of things. Annie, thank you for taking care of Dad, keeping him in line. It's an honor to be part of your family and for you to be in our family. I love you dearly. Thank you very much for being Grandma. You're amazing. And then to my superheroes. All right, so my wife, Vlasta, my daughter, Althea, who's standing out here with our newest addition, Austin, aka Potato. He's the man of the house right now. He runs everything. My son, Evan, sitting over here. I love you, buddy. And then my daughter, Alana, who is hopefully watching this via stream in Oregon right now. As you know, I've told you before, I wouldn't do this without you. You guys sacrifice, it's not taking more than I do. I got to go out and have fun and do all these great things and cool stuff. And you're at home doing school and playing Where's Dad, you know. But you've been awesome, and you're truly gifts from God. And I'm blessed to be a part of such an amazing group of people. Thank you very much. With that, I would like to go and just go ahead and close real quick with a prayer, if you don't mind. So thank you, Lord, for allowing me to serve you as a husband, a father, and now a chief. Each role has a specific responsibility, but each I hope to perform in honor of you. Thank you for the strength to persist, and I pray for your continued guidance and grace. Bless and encourage our fellow servicemen, women, and families while they sacrifice for the cause of freedom. May it bring more than just a prosperous nation, but prosperous souls who gain the opportunity to know you. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, our newest Chief Master Sergeant.
All right, big chief, enough about you. Go sit down. Colonel Richardson, would you please come up and provide some closing comments for us?
Awesome. What a fantastic night. Really a night to celebrate, and rightfully so. You know, to achieve this level, to achieve the trust and confidence, and to rise to the type of responsibility that these chiefs are about to embrace is really a fantastic and an awesome responsibility. I love hearing so many of them thank their families and friends. Some of them have stolen my thunder by saying, please stand up and be a vlog, you know, so I'm not going to do that every third time. But really, you know, those values are learned and modeled at home. And I really do honestly believe that. I do want to say that General Leonard, your program says General Leonard, he's smaller and better looking than I am. But in his absence, he really loves this type of environment, because this is, as a leader, as a senior enlisted leader in our Air Force, this is the watershed moment where you get to pay it forward, right? From this moment forward, you're not looking up to some other mentor, some other chief who's taking care of you when you're a tech sergeant or an airman or a senior master sergeant. You are that chief master sergeant for all of those airmen and tech sergeants and senior master sergeants that are looking to you. So you get to now pay it back forward onto everyone who looks to you the same way that you would look to the chiefs that came before you. Thank you, sir, for being here. I want to say thanks to Chief Woods and Chief Schmidt and all of the Chiefs group for what they did to put this fantastic ceremony together with Chief Sawyer, Chief Robertson for being the MCs. Really, all of us get to share in honoring and paying tribute to these fantastic senior enlisted leaders, and it doesn't happen by accident. So thank you all for helping put this together. My thanks go to the FSS and the club for giving us this venue and serving such great food for us to celebrate tonight. I did want to say thank you so much, Chief Gudgel, for your words. Chief Brown, it's great to have dinner with you. I'm a little bit embarrassed that we had you at our table rather than you, getting replicated everywhere throughout the room. Just the conversation is so great, and your thoughts are so pertinent to our Air Force today, so thank you for that. I especially keyed, Chief Gudgel, on your words about the importance of innovation, not being afraid to fail, right? I think that one of the things that, and all of you chiefs, right, you're all, pardon my language, but you're all old farts like me now. One of the things when you're confronting innovations, you want to say that's young people's game, right? Young people take risks. Old people are sort of the keels. But you really challenged us, and I appreciate, and I internalized your words as well, that innovation is everyone's game from top to bottom. And we have to be able to embrace that and create the climate so that you can harness the innovation and creativity of young people. I also would say, Chiefs, congratulations, right? You can move mountains. Literally, you can move mountains. But I would offer my insight is if you try to lift a mountain, you're doing it wrong. Right? You've heard it said that you now are the carburetor on the engine of defense. Right? That engine runs on human power, right? Human fuel. You're the carburetor to get the right things done at the right time. So please keep that in mind. And the last thing I'd like to say is it's really my honor and my privilege to get to shake the hands of our Air Force's newest senior enlisted leaders. I'm way too pretty to be infantry, and if it wasn't for the work that you get done, I would be. So thank you, and God bless you.
The Chief's Mess is adjourned.
Tonight would not have been possible without the support we received from our commanders and our fellow Thunderbolts. On behalf of the Luke's Chiefs Group, thank you for making this evening a success. A special thanks to the staff of Club 5-6 for this wonderful meal. I would also like to thank Mr. Bruce Ahrens, Ms. Denise Wellhite, and Mr. Dave Brzezinski for their outstanding support tonight.
And additionally, we would like to thank our candle lighting team.
Yes. From the 56th OSS, Senior Master Sergeant Ubiones. From the 56th Ops Group, Master Sergeant Mitchell. From the 56th Maintenance, Tech Sergeant Roberts. 56th EMS, Staff Sergeant K-Key. From the 56th Maintenance, Senior Airman IT. And from the 56th FSS, A1C, Ogmiman Prepay.
You should see it spelled out as like alphabet soup. It's crazy. But what an awesome name.
And from the 607th Air Control Squadron, Airman Swindles.
And last but certainly not least, a young man who has only about a month on station and also served as our prophet this evening, hailing from the 607th Air Control Squadron, Airman Basic Wyatt Vivier.
At this time, we would like everyone to please stand for the playing of the Air Force song.
Yonder, flying high is the sun. Here they come, soon to meet our thunder. At the boys, hear the gun.
portion of tonight's ceremony. Thank you for attending. Please drive home safely, and please feel free to hang out for pictures with our new chiefs and socialize as you wish. Good night, and have a great time. If we can all